The Khalistan movement is a fight for separate sovereign Sikh state in present-day Punjab, which includes the area of both India and Pakistan. Over the years, it has survived in various forms, in various places and amongst different populations. The movement was crushed in India following Operation Blue Star in the year 1984 and Operation Black Thunder in the year 1968 and 1988, but it continues to invoke sympathy and support among sections of the Sikh population, especially in the Sikh diaspora in countries such as Canada, the UK, and Australia. The origins of the movement has been traced back to India's independence and subsequent partition along religious lines. The Punjab province, which was divided between India and Pakistan, saw some of the worst communal violence and generated millions of refugees. Sikhs and Hindus stranded in the West Punjab, which is a part of present-day Pakistan, rushed to the east, which is India's Punjab, whereas Muslims in the east fled westwards. Lahore, the capital of Maharaja Ranjit Singh's great Sikh empire, went to the Pakistan, as did holy Sikh sites including Nankana Sahib, the birthplace of Guru Nanak, the founder of Sikhism. While most Sikhs found themselves in India, they were a small minority in the country, making up around 2% of the population. The political struggle for great autonomy began around the time of independence, with the Punjabi Subha movement for the creation of Punjabi speaking state. The state's reorganization commission in its 1955 report rejected this demand, but in 1966, after years of protest, the state of Punjab was reorganized to reflect the Punjabi Subha demand. The erstwhile Punjab state was trifurcated into Hindi-speaking Hindu-majority states of Himachal Pradesh and Haryana, and the Punjabi-speaking Sikh-majority Punjab. The Punjabi Subha movement had galvanized the Akali Dal, which became a major force in the new Sikh majority Punjab and gave the Congress hard fights in the Legislative Assembly election of 1967 and 1969. But in 1972, in the aftermath of Indira Gandhi's resounding victory in the 1971 Lok Sabha elections, the Akali Dal's performance in the state was overwhelming. The party met at a sacred town of Anandpur Sahib, the birthplace of Khalsa, in 1973, and released a list of demands that would guide the political path of the Akali Dal. Among other things, the Anandpur Sahib resolution demanded autonomy for the state of Punjab, identified regions that would be a part of separate state, and sought the right to frame its own internal constitution. The Akali Dal was trying to cash in on the growling demand for the autonomous state and had gone global by 1971 when an advertisement appeared on the New York Times proclaiming the birth of Khalistan. While the Akalis themselves repeatedly made it clear that they were not demanding suggestions from India. For the Indian state, the Anandpur Sahib resolution was of grave concern. Many in Punjab sought to go beyond just a demand for greater autonomy. One such man was Jarnail Singh Brindanwale, a charismatic preacher who was positioned himself as the authentic voice of Sikhs. In contrast to Akalis Dal, lukewarm vacillating leadership, some accounts claims that Brindanwale was propped up by Sanjay Gandhi, Indira's son, to stand against the Akalis for Congress political benefit. However, by the 1980s, the appeal of Brindanwale has grown so much that he started to become a problem for the government. He found a captive audience in the state youth, especially those in the lower rungs of social ladder, and amassed a massive following. He and his followers were also getting increasingly violent. In the summer of 1982, Brindanwale, with support from the Akalis Dal's leadership, launched a civil disobedience movement called the Dharam Youth Morcha. He took up residence inside the Golden Temple, directing demonstrations and clashes with the police. The movement was geared toward the demand first articulated in the Anandpur Sahib resolution. However, amidst growing religious polarization, sectarian violence, and Brindanwale's own harsh rhetoric against Hindus, Indira Gandhi's government declared the movement tantamount to secession. Operation Blue Star. By 1984, the situation in Punjab has become increasingly untenable for the government. Bhindranwale had become a call to arms, and instances of violence against Hindus as well as government officer has become common. In 1983, a senior police officer was shot dead after praying at the Golden Temple and his body was left to decay in the sun, while the local police station did nothing, perhaps both out of fear and sympathy towards Brindanwale cause. Indira Gandhi took the fateful decision to order the Indian army to flush out militants from the Golden Temple and neutralize Brindanwale. Operation Blue Star began on June 1, 1984, but due to fierce resistance from Brindanwale and his heavily armed supporters, the army operation became larger and more violent than that had been originally intended, with the use of tanks and air support. The image of Indian army tanks shelling the holiest strands of Sikhism was traumatic, and the very large number of civilian casualties that occurred during the operation added to their trauma. According to the government, 83 Indian army soldiers were killed and 249 were injured in the operation. A total 493 militants and civilians were killed in the operation. Other estimates peg the number of casualties much higher, as much as 3,000. While the operation was ostensibly successful in its aims, as the Brindanwale was killed and the Golden Temple was freed of militants, but it gravely wounded the Sikhism communities around the world. It also galvanized the demand of Khalistan. On October 31, 1984, Prime Minister Indira Gandhi was assassinated by the two Sikh bodyguards. This triggered the worst communal violence since partition. According to conservative estimates, over 8,000 Sikhs were massacred in the massive anti-Sikh street violence. A year later, Sikh nationalists based in Canada blew up an Air India flight, killing 329 people. They claimed that attack was to avenge Brindanwale's killing. Punjab saw the worst violence, became the hub of a long drawn-out insurgency that lasted till 1995. While the movement was allegedly supported by Pakistan to cause the internal unrest in its neighboring country, it would slowly peter out the 1990s as the violence took its toll. The bulk of the population turned against the militants, and the India headed towards economic liberalization. Current status of Khalistan movement. Punjab has long been peaceful, but the movement lives among the some Sikh communities overseas. The deep-rooted anger over Operation Blue Star and the discretion of the Golden Temple continues to resonate with some in the newer generation of Sikh. However, even as Brindanwale is viewed as martyr by many and the 1980s remembered as dark times, this has not manifested into tangible political support for the Khalistan cause. If you like the video, please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.